Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Diablo 4 video. I want to make this brief as possible, because this is just a theory craft thing and something that I'm going to try tomorrow when the beta comes back out and we're able to play Druid and Necromancer. Now, again, I'm going to try and be very clear and concise here. I put out a poll earlier this morning to see what class you guys were most excited for if you planned on playing D4. What's winning currently is Necromancer. But for me personally, I love Druid. I played Druid in D2 and I played Druid in WoW. And Druid is number 2 on that poll. So I wanted to come down to this website, which will be linked down on the description below, and just talk to you really quick about what I plan on running day 1, aka tomorrow, for the beta. Now, this build might end up being really good. It might be shit. But, I mean, we're going to find out. This is just a theory craft little video for you guys to get an idea and see if, you know, this playstyle kind of fits your needs. Two things before we jump into what perks I picked here and why. If you're new to Diablo 4, a Druid is usually a master of the elements. So he's tornadoes, electricity, lightning. He usually has wolf companions or crow companions as pets, and he can transform into a werewolf and a werebear. That is the gist of a Druid. All of those forms and things give you different benefits and effects, such as the werewolf is more like a rogue class doing a lot of quick damage. The werebear is usually a lot tankier with a lot of crowd control stuff, similar to an off tank in World of Warcraft, or similar to a barbarian here and trying to be tanky and soak up as much damage. The level 15 quests for a Druid are called boons. These, as far as I'm aware, are not going to be in this beta, so we don't really need to talk about them too much. Just like Barbarian, their level 15 quest is going to be out of the first zone. But what these things do is you communicate with a spirit animal, deer, eagle, snake, wolf, and that allows you to pick some perks down in this tree here, such as crit chance or increased spirit. Speaking of spirit, spirit is their energy source, such as mana or fury or energy from a rogue. So keep that in mind, but it doesn't seem like we're going to need a lot of spirit for this build because we're going to be going into a Rabies werewolf build. That is the idea for this. And usually a build with werewolf lacks AoE, and I was worried about that. But there are a few perks here that are going to be very special and unique to this build that will allow us to do some AoE damage to clear trash on maps, and then we probably, most likely, will absolutely shred bosses. So that's where we're at. Let's jump into the exact build. Again, just a quick little video here. We're going to go 3 points into Claw. Claw shapeshifts you into a werewolf, and then we're going to grab Enhanced Claw, and that gives our Claw attack 10% extra damage, or I'm sorry, increased attack speed. And then this is important here, Fierce Claw. This provides poison damage over 3 seconds. This is going to be a theme here. Down into the spirit tree, we're going to take Shred. Again, we're taking this, turns us into a werewolf, and we do a 3 combo attack, dealing % damage for the first and second, and the third one performs a larger attack. This is important. Again, as I just mentioned, AoE on a single target build is hard to come by, and any we can find is beneficial to this build. This gains attack speed and heals us for part of our maximum life, is awesome. And then down here is Shred's third combo attack is even larger, so that takes care of the AoE and gives us poisoning damage over seconds. So now we have 2 ways to poison enemies. That's going to be very important. Down here for our defensive skill, we're taking Blood Howl. Blood Howl, you shapeshift into a werewolf again, and you gain 20% of your maximum life. So that's to keep us alive because we're going to be a melee build. Down here we have Enhanced Blood Howl. Kills reduce the cooldown of Blood Howl. So that's fantastic. We'll be able to heal more often. And then Blood Howl also increases your attack speed by 15% for 4 seconds. And this just feeds into this right here. So you get more kills. And then you're able to Blood Howl again, heal for more, and just, this is what Barbarian was missing, by the way. This is like, you know, it working into each other like this, at least in my opinion. Again, we don't have enough skill points to actually grab everything we want here, so we're doing our best. Down here we have Vine Creeper for a companion. You can skip this if you want. I just grabbed this depending on how difficult the game's going to be. This poisons things and helps them immobilize, so it gives you a little bit of crowd control because we don't have really any. And then we have Ferocious Vine Creeper, which also does poisoning damage. So we have poison, 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 a lot of poison going on in this build. Now I hear you screaming from the rafters, I swear, how the hell are you going to kill large packs of enemies? lucky for us, we have Rabies. Shapeshift into a werewolf and perform an infectious bite on the target, dealing 29.4 damage and applying an additional 55.65% poisoning damage over 6 seconds. Then, infected enemies spread rabies to other surrounding targets. So that means we can kill or use rabies on one individual enemy. When that dies, usually, it will spread to all the other enemies that are near it. Then we have enhanced rabies. Poisoning damage also increases the lifetime of the disease, dealing 4 times bonus damage for the max duration. And then I'm not sure which one is going to be more beneficial here, but we're going to take savage rabies. Rabies deals its poisoning damage in blank seconds instead of hashtag. I don't know exactly what this means. I'm not sure exactly where they're going to go with it. Maybe it's max health instead of seconds or something along those lines, but we're going to experiment with both of these. Then lastly, down here in the ultimate ability, we're going to take Lacerate. This turns us into a werewolf, become immune, and quickly dash 10 times, very similar to the Rogue Trap ultimate, I'm going to assume, for 420% damage. Each time Lacerate deals a critical strike, heal for 3% maximum life, and Lacerate's initial strike is guaranteed to critically strike and deals 200% increased damage. That is completely 27 points in the Druid, which is exactly how many you get for the beta. So that is what I plan on running. If I had more points, we would of course go for Neurotoxin, Toxic Claws, Envenom. In fact, we might even do that. Maybe take off Vine Creeper and then stick these points down here, or max out something else, or put some more points in Claw and Shred if this isn't really working for us. But that's the gist of the build for the beta that I plan on doing. Now, since you guys are probably going to play the hell out of the beta like I am, I went and looked at even more data mined stuff. And a lot of people from what I've seen are unhappy that Druid is not going to be permanently in werewolf or werebear form. If this is true, if this data mined information is true, you do have some items here that you're going to be very happy about. Chest unique Druid-002 werewolf form is now your true form, and you gain blank +2 ranks to all werewolf skills. So all of our werewolf skills, which is everything that we've chosen, will have +2 into it. So for Rabies, that's going to be 7 points into Rabies, which is absolutely friggin' nuts for a beta. And then you can come down here to something like this ring. Gain a bonus when you kill with a shape-shifting skill, werewolf or werebear. Your next non-ultimate werebear skill costs no resources and no cooldown. This is very difficult to read. I don't think this is werebear. I think it's werebear and werewolf. That sounds like it probably would be. Every time you kill something with a shape-shifting skill, in our case, in our build, Vine Creeper would be free to use. But I mean, there are definitely some really cool things here that will really amplify the build as long as this stuff is remotely true. This one over here is gain stealth with a % seconds when killing enemies, and then your Shred breaking stealth with an attack grants ambush, which guarantees a critical strike. As a side note, after looking at this stuff, I just want to say that I think Druid might be, maybe, one of, if not the most complicated class in the game. There's a lot of interesting things that you can do here. There's a lot of skills that your werebear can proc for your like earth skills, and then there's a lot of things that werewolf can proc while in werewolf form that are like spirit skills. There's some interesting things here. So you may end up with like a weird kind of hybrid build that your werebear keeps proccing earth skills, and those earth skills do damage, so you don't stack tankiness, you stack spell damage. That might be a thing, or vice versa with the werewolf form. There's a lot of cool stuff with Druid, and I'm really excited to see how far it's going to go and how much min-maxing you can do and churn out really interesting builds here. So a lot of this stuff is pretty cool. After playing the beta on the Barbarian, I'm well aware how much Legendaries are going to impact the actual build that you do. That Thorns build for Barbarian was great, but it turned into amazing once you got the healing standing next to enemies item. Similar to Hammer of the Ancients, once you got the AoE circle on it, that turned into a fantastic thing. with Rogue when I was able to freeze things and throw grenades at them or plant as many traps as I wanted to and they stayed down. There's a lot of cool things on those legendary or unique items, I believe they're called, that seem to be really, really fun. So take all of this with a grain of salt. If this build absolutely shreds and we can tweak it, maybe I'll make another video, but we're probably going to do this one and a Necromancer one. I'll see you guys on the beta. If you guys want to check me out, I'll be streaming it, twitch.tv/roundedtictac. We would love to see you there, or possibly just on YouTube as well. And until then, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe for more Diablo 4 and Destiny 2 content, and I will catch you on the next one. Tic Tac out.